Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of ChatterBeans. Here we go then. Today I'm joined by the brilliant musician and freelancer Lydia Walquist. We dive into her journey from the Royal Academy of Music into the world of freelancing, the flexibility, the challenges, and everything in between. We talk a lot about cultural identity, relationships, navigating a religious upbringing, and what the future of classical and contemporary music might look like. Lydia also opens up about learning Cantonese, building community in the arts, and the life lessons she's gathered along the way. This one's a heartfelt, reflective, and insightful episode, so grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into the conversation. Lydia, welcome to ChatterBeans. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. I'm really excited for our chat. So I've met you once before because your girlfriend, my husband, are very good friends.
Yes.
Both from Hong Kong. So we'll get onto that in a little while. Tell us about you. What does life look like for you right now?
Ooh, so I just finished my postgrad at Royal Academy, and it's my first time being not in school. So I've been joking about saying I'm professionally unemployed, but I think I think what people usually in my profession use is I'm a freelancer.
Yes. That's usually the way.
So that's what I do. And I feel like being a freelancer is kind of all encompassing because you can do anything as a freelancer in a way. So I think right now my days are mostly filled with emailing venues because I've been spending half of or over half of my life just learning how to perform. So I'm like, okay, I need to get performances lined up. And I think when you go from a really intense environment like the Royal Academy of Music, where you just have performances and exams lined up back to back, where you can't look past the next day, you have to, it's a complete disconnect from once you end because it just felt like you drop into COVID again and everything has stopped. So yeah, basically my days are filled with emailing venues saying, "Please let me play here."
It's like the admin part that I suppose you haven't ever needed to do because you just play the music, right? Play your instrument and yeah, you haven't had to worry about this bit.
Exactly. And then you also have to go out to concerts, which is great. Oh no, I have to go to concerts. But no, it's incredible because you need to be active in the scene. Because if you want to perform, I mean, people need to know that you're also there to support. And it's just inspiring to hear other people's performances and see how they curated the entire program. And also, like, I think I'm so used to the classical music scene just being like, "Here, we're going to listen to Haydn string quartets, and you're going to sit here for an hour with your hands folded." But I think it's just so wonderful to break into the contemporary scene and just see how they curate the concert and kind of incorporate the audience into the listening experience.
Yeah.
And so I've been really interested in that.
Did you do any of the BBC proms?
I did not,
No.
no.
I don't know if it's your thing, but we absolutely love The Traitors on BBC, and the Royal Scottish Orchestra performed at the Royal Albert Hall, the music from The Traitors with the presenter, and it was so special. Like, I love listening to an orchestra. I love looking. I'm like amazed by all the little things and all the little noises. So what is it about classical music? How long have you been into it? When did you get into it? How did that start?
So, I think I've been into it since I was a little kid because my dad plays the piano for fun.
For fun.
Yeah, and then it's a good instrument to play for fun. I think once you get into the profession, it's depressing, but um, my mom plays the violin for fun as well. So I kind of grew up around music, the typical, like, little Asian kid's childhood of, "Here, you're gonna play piano, now you're going to play violin." I can't play either one. So I think it's been in my life, and I've been playing instruments probably since I was 3,
Really?
but not well. Um,
But don't you think, like, when you've been playing for like such a young age, like you've just got that ability, I think. Because I one of my biggest regrets is that I never learnt the piano. Like, I love listening to the piano, and I so wish I could play it and that I had a piano in the corner. I just think it's too late.
it's never too late, honestly. I think it does give you an advantage even to be exposed to classical music earlier because you're more familiar with that language. Because classical music and jazz, they're their own languages. Same with pop music. each style is its own language, and so the longer you are exposed to it, the more you're able to, like, kind of just innately understand how to play it or listen to it or interpret it. So, yeah.
So you grew up in the US. What brought you to London? So it was the Royal Academy of Music. Yeah. How was that move?
I personally loved it
Yeah.
because I think ever since I was a kid, I was like, "I don't wanna go to school in the US." Yeah, I don't know, I have this weird distaste for my own country. As a kid, it was like, I wanna be different, and
Yeah.
now it's like, I don't like the US. So I think also it was mostly because it's cheaper to pay full international fees at the Royal Academy of Music than it is to pay fees at a state school with a scholarship in the
Really?
States.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty prestigious school, right?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, "Do I wanna go to a state school for the same money, or do I wanna go to, like, the Royal
Yeah.
Academy of
Yeah.
Music?"
And was it 3 years?
It was 4
4
years.
years.
Yes.
How were your 4 years?
Horrible.
Really?
Yeah, it was during COVID, so I started in 2019 and then graduated in 2023. So I stayed on for another 2 years because I did not get to do any performance during those years,
Yeah, so how
basically.
did they teach you?
Online?
Online.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But the good years? I guess you met a lot of like-minded people, like, it's got you in that mindset?
Definitely, and I think being at RAM, it helped me get exposed to contemporary music, and I got to meet so many incredible composers and get collaborations through that,
Yeah.
especially during COVID because the bigger projects like orchestra or opera, first and foremost, they were given to the older students, and then as well, there weren't as many, like, live performance opportunities, so
Yeah.
the only time I could perform was contemporary music, I think.
Yeah. And so now, you're out of university, entering the world of freelancing, finding your feet. How's it going? What are you up to?
Ooh, okay. Well, so I have some concerts coming up, but it's mostly teaching and admin.
Teaching and
But to stay inspired and to not get too depressed about figuring out just this first year, because I always say the first year after uni is the hardest. Um, I've been just meeting up with fellow musicians and friends and just jamming here and there. And I feel like it's so much easier to spend time with people now because it's not just that I have more time, but it's also I feel like people are much more approachable
Yeah.
because I just see people who I think are really cool and I just DM them I'm like, "You're so cool. I love what you're doing. Can we please meet up?"
That's amazing that you have that confidence. Like, that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, I guess it does, but
Yeah, but it's paying off.
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
great.
good for
Yeah.
you. So let's talk about growing up in the US
Yes.
and your experience there, because you said that obviously you don't like it very much. You wouldn't want to go back, I imagine.
Yeah.
But how was it in those years?
I actually had a really good
Did
childhood.
you?
Yeah, it was like the picture perfect childhood. Yeah, because I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, so it was a really nice suburb, kind of rich. So like
Yeah.
you had the beautiful lawn and you had adorable like summer activities and you would go to the pool every summer.
Nice.
And yeah, we just did normal family things and
Yeah.
my aunt lived nearby, so I got to go see my mom's twin and, like, when she would babysit us, it was so easy for her because like, we just thought she was mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, my sisters my oldest sister went to boarding school when she was about 13. So, like, my middle sister and I got more attention, during those years, and, like, we did have, like, fights as siblings do, but I think also when I was in high school, I kind of had an only child life in a way.
Did you?
'Cause my oldest sister was already moved out and living her life, and then my middle sister was in university, so I
See.
basically had the parents all to myself during those years. And then
And your relationship with your parents, all good?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
And you were just telling me a little bit about your parents. So super religious, right?
Very religious, yeah.
How, like, were you involved in the church as well then, growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. So, growing up, they would take us to church, every Sunday, every Wednesday, and then when we got older, every Friday and Saturday. And then in the summer they had this thing called, I think it was like youth camp or
Yeah.
something like that, and so they would take us to the youth camp as well. And it was fun because you had a lot of activities, and, like, just normal camp stuff, but also it was so religious, and by that, I mean they had this thing called the audio cross, where, like, they had people, like, act out the cross, like, audio-wise,
Wow,
and,
that's intense.
before meals, you always had to pray, which, I mean, is normal, I guess, but you also, like, sang a bunch of these, like, church songs, which is fun. But looking retrospectively, it's also it feels like indoctrinate brainwashing in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
And so, what's your relationship now with religion and
I think
the church?
it's better than it was a few years ago because I think I still kind of see Christian evangelicalism as a cult. Um, because they say that they don't really allow you to have friendships or relationships outside of the church, and if you do, they'll say you don't want worldly influences, and so yeah.
And so with your views now, um, and we're going to come on, I think, to your girlfriend. How is your relationship with your parents, and kind of do they understand your view on life and kind of where you're at?
Yeah, I think my relationship with them is still really good. I'm really lucky that they're, like, really so understanding about me because I came out to them when I was 15, and then
Interesting.
back then, I had a girlfriend who was 19, and then they made me break up with her, and as a kid, I was like, "You're homophobic." Now I'm like, "You're really good parents. Thank you for that. I
Yeah,
really appreciate
15 and
that."
19.
Yeah.
That's young. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, now I'm like, "No, they're not homophobic." Like, I mean, they have said some homophobic things throughout the years, but I think they're not inherently, like, hateful
yeah,
homophobic.
yeah.
Um,
And there is a difference.
yeah.
I do believe that.
Yeah, because there's, like, the it's just people who aren't used to it and kind of uncomfortable with it because 'cause they're not used to it, and then there are people who are like
Super against it, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
what's it called? It's, like, St. John'sboro Baptist Church or, like, Westboro Baptist Church,
Mhm.
that one. It's basically a hate group that calls itself a church.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
but there are plenty of those in the States.
We were watching this documentary recently. Anyway, it's basically a cult.
Yeah, basically, yeah, sounds about
There was
right.
this, he was an Asian guy, Chinese man that was the leader. Can't remember what it was called anyway, it's irrelevant.
Oh my gosh, sorry, wait, let me go on a tangent really quick. So, Kat doesn't know much about Christianity, so we watched, like, a crash course on Christianity together. It's
That's
like,
amazing.
do you know Bill Wirtz? You should watch some of his videos because first off, the chords in there and, like, the harmonies, fantastic. Love it. There's this jazz YouTuber who does, like, a whole breakdown on the chords of those videos.
That's
So,
amazing.
that's another deep
Okay.
dive to go into. But, it's basically it's a wonderful meme format that's also informative.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I mean when I say Bill Wirtz videos. So, anyway, this Christian like, history of Christianity or, like, breakdown of Christianity is kind of like that, and it goes through all the denominations. Um, and I think Americans are basically Protestant,
Yeah.
like, under the umbrella of Protestant, and I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway,
It's fine.
we watched that video,
Yeah.
and now I know
Yeah.
so much more about
There you are. And so
American
does Cat.
yeah, and so does Kat.
So yeah, your parents still into the church. Your relationship is good. That's nice. How did they meet? Because you've got a really interesting background, haven't you?
Yeah, so my mom's from Hong Kong, but she moved to the States when she was 7, and then my dad, he's kind of been, like, a rural kid for all of his life because he first was born in Virginia, then moved to Illinois. So they met in university, at the University of Illinois, and, they met through their church because they both were in the same church, and they were Bible study leaders. And, so my mom really liked his personality from that, and but the moment she realized she liked him, she didn't realize it was him even though they've been doing Bible studies together, but, my dad went on just, like, an encouragement date with my mom's twin sister, and encouragement dates are like, um kind of just blind coffee dates or something like that for church people.
I love that term, encouragement dates.
Yeah. It's really cute if you
Yeah, it
think
is.
about it.
Yeah.
Except I feel like just from my childhood in that church, the word encourage, like the way they say it, they're like, Sister, I'm so encouraged by this coffee." Like, so that, oh my gosh, that word is so weighted for me. Oh, encouragement
PTSD there, right?
dates. Yeah,
A little bit.
exactly. So they went on an encouragement date. No, I love all of them. Also, that auntie is like, she's incredible.
Yeah.
I look up to her so much.
Do
She's
you?
their Don black belt in like martial arts. Anyway, she's so cool. So imagine this. So my mom is like a really bubbly, fun, outgoing chihuahua of a person. And then my aunt is like a very like stoic. She's actually kind of like Kat, like stoic, very like to the point and like was nice. So and they're twin sisters, like they look identical.
Mm.
So my aunt went on a date with my dad, and my mom just saw his back, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, who is he?" And my aunt came back from the date, and she's like, "How was he? What's he like?" And my aunt was like, "Oh, it's nice." She's like, "Give me more." So that's I think it was actually love at first sight, even though people are like, "Love is dead," but no, I think that was
I think it
yeah,
exists. Yeah.
it does exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how my mom kind of like first got interested in my dad. And then my dad was kind of like, washing dishes and be like, "Should I ask this person out? Yeah, yeah, it would be nice."
And so growing up, did you learn Cantonese?
No.
Okay. No. And how do you feel about that now?
Oh, I'm really upset about it, but also I understand why. Because growing up, my mom was like, "I'm so glad you look white."
Really?
Yeah. And
So she has a tricky relationship with Hong Kong, I imagine.
she loves Hong Kong. Tricky relationship with China because she was just taught to fear China from a young age. But it's more of the racism she faced when she first came to the States.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So she was happy that you looked more white.
exactly. And
Interesting.
this racism has like been in her life, well, her entire life, because as a kid, other kids made fun of her because she couldn't speak English and they like kicked her down. And so she went from an opulent lifestyle to like basically not being able, like her mom could barely afford to feed them
Wow.
at some points. And so when she got her like little Girl Scout uniform, kids would like push her to the ground and ruin her uniform as a kid. And then later on in high school, guys would fetishize her and her sister because not only were they Asian, but they were also twins. So there's that.
Yeah. And so now you're with someone who's from Hong Kong, which is fantastic. I guess that happened by chance because you met Kat. But how does your mum, I suppose, feel about it? One, that she's from Hong Kong, but that she's a girl as well. Have any of those conversations been had? Because she didn't teach you Cantonese, obviously, but you now want to learn, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think my mom's actually pretty excited that she's from Hong Kong
Really?
because when she came to London this summer and she met Kat, she was just going off and like just talking in Cantonese as much as she can. She was like, she gets really hyper and
Yeah.
excited
So that's quite
for
nice
it.
for you to see, I imagine.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's so cute because she did, like, the Asian mom thing of, like she was like, "Do you like this? Okay, we're gonna get you more," to Cat. Cat, like, ended up being stuffed with sushi just because my mom's like, "Let's get you another serving."
Yeah. Eat more, eat more. I know it well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how has it been for you, I suppose, like growing up not speaking it's like one half of your life, I suppose.
Yeah. I think most of my childhood, it was feeling like I am missing out on another half of my life because I only knew, like, "조선, gai gai," and, like, that sort of thing. But otherwise, I knew no counter because I think my mom didn't feel like she had the power to even suggest going to Hong Kong, or we never really saw her family much growing up. And I think it's because she didn't feel like she had the power to suggest even to go to see her family because she's from a very traditional, um, patriarchal sort of mindset. So she, in a way, she silenced herself. And there's probably a bit of resentment on her end internally. But with that, it also just made my upbringing mostly white. And here's actually a really funny story. So as a kid, when we went to my aunt's Chinese church, so I have two cousins from that aunt who are like around my age, and one of my cousins, Nathaniel, we're like two peas in a pod. We're like twins, but not. Um, so like we would always hang out at that Chinese church when we were together, but multiple times, and I've been there multiple times. Kids would be like, "Are you guys dating?" And we were like, "No." And I think it was because he looked more Asian and then I looked more white, and people are like, "Oh, so totally not related, right?" So
Interesting. And so now learning the language, and I suppose more about the culture as well. Being with someone from Hong Kong, right? I imagine you learn quite a lot.
yeah,
I certainly do from Oscar. How does that feel?
I love it so much. It feels like I'm finally discovering another part of myself that I've never had the chance to discover before.
That must be so exciting.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you got any plans to go?
Oh, we're hoping to go next September.
Exciting.
Really want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it there. I can't wait to be back. So just want to go back to the classical music because it's not common. I mean, I certainly don't speak. I mean, it probably is quite common in your circle, but what is it about classical music that you love so much?
Ooh. Well, I'm trying to find that out right now.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I think first and foremost, I loved it because I was good at it.
Mm.
Yeah. I liked having something to be good at. But I think
I think we all do, right?
we do, exactly. So it's just nice to be good at something. But I think, um, I mean, classical music, it has it's quite diverse, not in the same thing of like, it's not like diverse like DEI diverse. Not at all. Totally not. I mean, it is, but that part is like hidden away, which is another
I
problem.
feel like it's getting there slowly, but that's
Yeah.
just from what I see, and I know not much about it. So,
It is getting there, and fortunately, there's more research being done, but it's still super behind.
really,
But in terms of styles, it's so diverse.
yeah,
Yay! Like, I mean, you have the Baroque period and the harmonies in that, and the articulations and just style in a way. It reflects the dances and culture of the time. And I feel like Baroque music is more similar to jazz than it is to classical,
okay, yeah,
just with like more it feels more of a community,
mm,
s sort of music, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
even though it was played in churches and it was played for, like, really rich people. But from a musician standpoint, actually bringing the music together feels more like a communal, collaborative
Yeah.
sense.
So are there things that you want to do, I suppose, because for me, classical music still feels like a thing that well-off people go to. You need to have money. It's very kind of upper class, middle class, right? Like, how can you? Is that something you're considering? Like, how you reach different audiences moving forward?
All the time, actually, and I think going to a classical concert is actually really cheap.
Mm.
It's cheaper than going to sometimes a band, like, just a local band concert.
Oh, completely.
Like,
Yeah.
even if the tickets are for the band concert is, like, £20, you can get classical concerts for free.
Yeah.
So, in that aspect of going to a concert, it's really cheap and it's really easy, and it's actually all over London.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a student, there's this thing called Student Pulse, and you can get, like, tickets to the LSO or something for, like, £5.
Really?
So they have these incredible schemes like that because they are trying to get more people into the door. But I think the whole way concerts are run, it's completely outdated, and it's so different to how we listen to music now. Because how do you usually listen to music?
Spotify.
Exactly. You just listen to it there in the background. You can move. You're not sitting.
I think this is exactly it, and I've had other people on this podcast. I've had David, the media mentor. He's a journalist and DJ'd on the radio for a really long time, and he was saying that he used to have an evening show, which he loved because the evening show is the one show in radio you generally know people are tuning in and actually listening to, and you're not just doing something else. It's not like drive time or breakfast where you're like making the breakfast and the music's on in the background. He was like he loved it because he knew people were listening to him. And if I listen to Spotify, I can't say I often just sit there and really listen to the music. But
Yeah,
when I'm at a concert, it's so different. Especially a classical concert, I'm like transported.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there are different experiences because there are concerts for kids because I feel like kids, they need to be able to move around. And so actually I'm kind of experimenting with that in my own concerts. Because I do understand how it's nice to have like an immersive experience where like it's just continuous and in a way you feel like you're in the art installation.
Yeah.
And then also I completely understand getting so bored that you fall asleep during the concert because I've done the exact same. Even if it's great music, I'll just sit there like an hour and I'll just
I do have to admit this. Oscar and I went to the BBC Proms a couple of years ago. I think we were like 2 years yeah, a few years ago, and we left halfway because it just really wasn't for us.
oh, we do that too.
Yeah.
Like music
Um,
students do that all the time.
he was like, "Oh, you just want to be this type of person that goes to the Royal Albert Hall." Da, da, da." I was like, "Yeah, it just wasn't for me." But
Fair
that's okay,
enough.
right?
Yeah, I feel like there are so many different concerts available, and I think when people think classical concerts, they think Barbican, Royal Albert
Yeah.
Hall, South Bank, like Queen Elizabeth Hall, like
Yes.
the big ones. But in a way, those are nice
Mm.
because you hear world class music,
Yeah.
and it's just like to the point of it's almost holy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole there's a whole ceremonious aspect
Very
of
much.
you filter into the seats, you turn your phone off. It's like sitting in a theater, but this ancient thing of classical music. And it's like going to the National Portrait Gallery or something, you know? And you see these old masters, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But I think that can be intimidating for new listeners as well, because you're sitting there, you're like, do I clap?
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
over?
It's almost not knowing the etiquette and like, is it finished? And it's, no, no, it's just quite a part, or like it's about to pick up, and no one, you know. Um, so you're doing some different type of concerts then?
Yes. So recently I just did a concert in Iceland.
Did
And
you?
yeah.
How fantastic!
Were you in Iceland? Because I saw a puffin up
We
there.
we went to Iceland.
Wait, when?
January.
Oh, okay. So
It was cold.
we missed each other,
Yeah.
but
How
I
long were you in
feel
Iceland for?
oh, just a weekend. I'm so sad I couldn't stay longer. It
Yeah,
was so
it's a
nice.
beautiful place. How was the concert?
It was incredible. Yeah, because we did the same program we did at Wigmore Hall. So that was for my friend Ziggy the Somogi's RPS concert where they composed two pieces. It started with a synth etude called I think it's like Quarter Life Crisis
Okay.
or Music for the Quarter Life Crisis. So that's I could be completely wrong and that I'm so sorry, Ziggy. It's great though because they basically kind of took the piss of like the venue because Wigmore Hall is also this hallowed hall
Yeah.
of chamber music
Yeah. Yeah.
where you have like international icons of classical music performing in there. So we opened the program with a synth etude that has like little 80s chords like doop, doop, doop,
Love that.
doop. And then our pianist, who isn't a trained singer, was like, quarter life crisis music. Anyway, you need to listen to that piece. It's
Yeah.
hilarious, but also it's really serious. And then they ended with a flute, cello, piano trio, which is a really serious, substantial piece of music. So we took that from Wigmore Hall, played it in Iceland, and what we did here is the same thing that we debuted with for our first ever performance as a group, and we gave our audience like papers and pens, so if they want to process the music in a different way, or if they're getting bored or anything, they can just like draw what they're hearing,
How interesting.
and that is called a graphic score.
I love that.
And it goes on. It keeps going. Um, and so that was the first half of the concert. Then in the second half of the concert, in the interval, we collected all the graphic scores and then did a speed run of trying to choose a few. And we projected them onto the screen and played a few and just improvised for the second half of the concert.
That's amazing.
It was great.
And it went down well?
Oh, it went down really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to keep doing more things like that?
Of course, and,
Yeah.
like, eventually, like, when Kat and I move in, I said, "We're going to dedicate an entire wall to graphic scores
Oh
because
my God, amazing.
I think I already have enough scores to fill up this wall." And it's beautiful because it's, like, my audience's artwork, and, like, I feel like it's a great way to bring my audience with me, and I think as classical musicians, especially coming from a conservatoire, you don't really think about building your audience, but as an artist, your your work can't well, you don't have work if you don't have an audience.
Exactly. Yeah. You want people to follow you, I suppose, and see you grow and yeah.
Exactly. So what better way to, like, cultivate an audience than, like, inviting them to join you in creating the music? Because I feel like it's nice to listen to a concert and listen to pieces that are just pieces, but it's also really nice to make it your own as well.
So thinking about the future, what do you want the future to look like? What's your big goal?
Ooh,
Have you got one?
I do have a big lofty goal. I want to kind of turn my chamber group into have you heard of Riot Ensemble, Chroma, or Manchester Collective?
Maybe the collective, yeah.
Okay, so they're like these incredible like collective of musicians, artists, and composers. Um, and they play a ton of incredible, crazy new music, as well as just doing normal classical music. But and they're full of world-class musicians and like just artists, and they create art together, and they have so much breadth that they're able to do, and you don't need every member in the to be there in the concert or the project, so and they have different projects going on. So I eventually want to turn my chamber group into a collective like that, because I think what I love the most about classical music is the community. Even though when you think about classical musicians, they're kind of like autistic, standing in a corner and just like, "What's a person? You mean I have to talk to people? Ah, no!" Like, that is a stereotype, and it's true, but I also love it. I love my
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's it. As long as you keep doing something that you're so passionate about, which you clearly are, like that's going to take you a long way. I love that. In amongst playing music and I guess university days probably, but do you like coffee?
Okay, so there's a complicated relationship. Well,
Tell me.
not too complicated, it's just a wormhole.
Okay.
Okay, so I am very sensitive to, like, caffeine, usually, so I only have coffee for when I really need it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm the sort of person that takes, like, instant coffee, drinks it black, and, like, I usually don't sip coffee for the taste.
Really?
It's just a means to an end.
Really?
It's paracetamol for me.
I love that. Why not? Why not? And if you could have coffee or any other drink with someone, have you got anyone in mind, dead or alive, that you'd love to have coffee with?
Yeah, I think I'd like to have coffee with my sister.
Your sister?
Either one, actually, my oldest or middle sister,
Okay.
but I just respect them so much, and I'm absolutely fascinated by what they're working on and what they're studying. Because my oldest sister is doing a PhD in Ukrainian history.
Wow.
It's incredible, and I just want to hear her rant at me for, like, an hour, and then I want to ask her a dumb question about academia that's completely, like, unresearched and her just correct me. I love it.
Where is she in the world studying that?
She's at University of Illinois.
Is she?
It's so cute.
Why did she choose that?
Uh
Everything go.
she studied Russian, like, the language, in high school. She's so smart. Like,
Mm.
she graduated high school when she was 16 from a math and science boarding school.
Whoa.
She's so
Super clever.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like so she studied Russian there, and then I think she studied political science, and then Russian something as well? I'm not sure.
How clever.
Yeah, she's really smart. Then I think I forgot what she did for her master's. I just know it has to do with library and reading. She worked at the library.
So she loves it.
She does.
What has she bought? What's her got? I mean, no, that's another episode. Um,
I'll have to get her on this
yeah.
podcast for you.
You're welcome at any time.
Yes.
So what would you want to talk to her about?
I want her to teach me how to study Yeah, and research because I probably learned how to do that in high school, but I completely forgot. And now when I need to research like anything, for example, if I want to research into like a composer that's like friends with Barbara Hepworth, I'm like, how do I know who Barbara Hepworth was like friends with and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just like, teach me how to research the archives.
Yeah.
Um,
What about your middle sister?
she's so cool. I feel like so like my oldest sister, she's the one you look to for wisdom and on how to be an adult. And then my middle sister is the one I look to to just like be real. Well, like I'm real with my oldest sister, but like, when like you just chill with the middle sibling
Yeah.
because they've done it all.
So I think you've had a really interesting upbringing in the US, moving across to London, interesting parents with the background, and now kind of, I suppose, entering your adult life with a girlfriend, learning Cantonese. Is there any bits of advice or like one big life lesson that you want to share with people?
The result and the end product isn't the journey.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is no matter what career or skill you're looking at, you'll see someone who's absolutely incredible that just blows your mind and you're like, "How did you get there? Why are you so good?" Um, and I've done this so many times and I just compare myself to them and I'm like, "Why can't I be as good as them?" But then you don't know their entire journey and you don't know how hard they've worked to get there. And maybe if they're that good, but they're younger than you, they probably started way before you. So I think it's just so easy to fall into the pit of comparing yourself and thinking, "I wanna be there."
That's so I resonate with that so much. It's a conversation I probably have with Oscar so often, particularly around body goals. You
Yep,
look at all these muscle men and you're like, oh, they're 34, same age as me. Why do they look like that? Well, they probably started at 16 and I started properly like 6 years ago. I think Oscar has the same thing about dance. We're all on our own journey, right?
exactly. And it's like you would never compare a first-year med student to a world-class surgeon.
Yeah.
And even if that med student is, like, 30 and the world-class surgeon is 20, it's just like you wouldn't say, "Why aren't you a world-class surgeon?" It's just
Yeah.
you don't expect someone who's just started to be a pro
Yeah,
in a way.
definitely. When do you feel most like yourself?
Ooh, well, this is cheesy, but when I'm with Kat, I think
Oh.
it's really cute. Yeah.
How long have you been together?
It's going to be 11 months when she gets back from Hong Kong, so it'll be a year in November on the
That's so
1st.
exciting.
Yeah.
And I suppose she's come into your life at a really interesting time.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad she came into my life last year
Mm.
because I was still kind of stable because I still had like academy to be like, okay, I know what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
I think if she came into my life now, it might be so chaotic that she'd kind of be a bit scared off and be like, What's going on?"
I think the good thing about it is that she's had that journey of coming out of university, finding her work and her next thing.
Yeah.
Um, so in some ways, maybe she can guide you a little bit as well. And I think, yeah, you can bounce off each other with that. That's quite nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've started to copy her now because she's been doing this since before we started dating, but like at the end of the day, she puts like a little like synopsis of what the day was. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm not that organized yet. But she also writes down like a little plan and schedule for each day. And I remember, like, when I was in primary school, they made us do that a little bit, but then I just stopped doing it because as a teenager, I'm like, "That's stupid. I don't need to do that. I'm too good for this. My brain's so big, I can keep it all in here." As an adult, I'm like, I have very smooth bird brain. I need to write it all down."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite that, but I definitely use my Oscar and I have this joint diary and he laughs at me quite often because it's full of my stuff. But it's if I don't put it in the calendar, even if it keeps getting bumped, which it inevitably does, I'll forget.
Exactly.
Like literally do a wash. Like I need to put the clothes on. I need to put it in the calendar because then it pings up. Even if I don't do it at that time, I'll bump it to the next day or whatever. But yeah, it's yeah, I suppose that's quite endearing.
Yeah. I'm terrified for cat for when we live together because I just keep Post-it notes around my wall, and it's not like a beautiful organized it's more like of just like laundry. Call this person. Here's some random names.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
great. It works really
Yeah.
well.
So that's your goal, to move in together,
Yeah,
keep it going.
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah. It's time for the quick fire round.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First thing you do in the morning.
Scroll.
Scroll. Reach for the phone, scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? You own it.
That is a habit I'm breaking at the moment.
It's quite hard though, isn't it? As much as we all try to be quite zen and, wake up slowly and listen to music or get some daylight, the phone is the first thing.
Yeah, it's either email or Instagram scroll, which is.
If you were to pack a bag right now, where would you be going?
Oh, my mind instantly said Hong Kong, but Kat's also in Hong Kong right now.
Is she?
Yeah, and the food looks so good. I'm so jealous. And it's her mum and grandma making it.
Oh, so it's actually homemade as well.
But it looks like a restaurant made
Yeah.
it. Oh!
One thing that always lifts your mood.
For some reason, bullock bao. I don't really eat bullock bao.
Wow.
That's the first thing that came to mind, but it's not true. I think food. Yeah, usually if I'm grumpy, I figured out I need to eat something and then assess after that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I
Yeah.
love that. What is one habit you swear by?
So I've started this little muscle mommies group chat with my two friends. One of them has graduated, one is still in around. And we're all noodly woodwinds. And by noodly, I mean lanky, weak, unathletic woodwinds. You know, what you expect from classical musicians.
Yeah.
And so we made a goal to do 30 push-ups each day.
And how's it going?
It's going okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might not do it every day, but I try to do it as much as I can. And we started with the wall and now we're at the floor. So
I love that.
I knock out like 10 at a time. One day, 100 at a time.
Watch out. There we are. Yeah, exactly. A pleasure you'll never give up.
Music, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite way to spend your day off?
Okay, so my most usual way of spending a day off is just staying inside and binge watching Netflix and just having a cave. Like,
People should do that more often, honestly.
great.
I need to do it more often.
but I think it just depends what part of my cycle I'm in. Because if it's like cave cycle mode, it's cave.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I really love going to the park. And over the summer, Kat and I have been going to parks, and it's just really cute, especially when it's sunny.
Yeah. Favorite place you visited and why?
Actually, Iceland for some reason. It's just breathing the air and drinking the water there feels like I already went to a spa.
Literally. Isn't it such fresh, clean air?
It's like what you imagine in those commercials when you know those like Febreze commercials, like when it's just like a fresh waft and they open the door or it's like that fresh spring air that you see in like animes or something, and you open the window, it's like,
Literally. Yeah. And the water.
oh, it tastes sweet.
One risk that you're glad you took?
Usually, okay, the thing is, in my mind, I think I don't take risks, but I guess moving to London is a risk.
That's what
in
I
a
would say
way.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be.
But I didn't really see it as a risk. I was more like, yay, not America. Woo!
I suppose, going somewhere that speaks English, I suppose it's easier, but it's still the other side of the world and away from your family and people and,
Yeah.
But it's paid off.
Yeah, it has. Actually, one risk, sorry, this is so cheesy. I'm really glad that I asked to be on this podcast, I think, because I was actually so nervous because I wasn't sure if I would say the right thing or if I would just sound really stupid. So I think this is a risk I'm happy I took.
I'm so pleased to hear that because I did get the sense that you were nervous. And actually, I think most people, when they turn up here, there is a little bit of nerves, but you ease into it and it's so relaxed. It's like, it's you, it's your life, right? So thank you for asking. If you could time travel, would you go forwards or backwards?
I feel like I would go backwards, but a few years.
Just a few years. Okay.
Or no, I feel like, does it mean time traveling into your own life to fix things in the past?
Can mean whatever you want.
Okay, well,
I've had someone that wants to go back to the Egyptian times just to be Cleopatra. Is that right? Cleopatra's the
Ooh, nice.
That sounds so stupid. But yes, want to go all the way back. And then I've had, just a few years to do some things differently.
No, I think I would go back to when I was in middle school, kind of slap myself around and being like, Stop being so like you're not a stoic anime character. And that's okay. Have your hobbies, have fun, I think.
Your hobbies being music.
Yeah, but also just being creative, in general. Because when I was a kid, I didn't really want to do things I was bad at because I was like, oh, I need to just be great at it right away. And also, as a kid, I loved anime, and you see in animes, you have this like training arc of 1 month. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have 1 month to get good at something, and if I'm bad, then I shouldn't do it.
Final question. What is a small amount of joy that you've experienced recently?
Ooh, yesterday I went to this concert. Have you heard of Ben Nobuto?
No.
He's this incredible composer. I feel bad. I don't know how old he is, but he's in his like 30s or something. So like he's like I think he's pretty well established, yeah. And he had this performance at King's Place with Brother Tree Sound. It's like a string quartet and this incredible French horn. And it was just a beautiful evening because it was the audience was like a community of like composers and people in the contemporary scene. And I got to stay for drinks afterward, and it was just so lovely to speak with everyone. Because also I need to like get my way into that scene and like just network. But everyone in the contemporary world is just so warm and welcoming, I think, and it just makes it all the more exciting to like look forward to working with them and like looking forward to like listening to their performances and just being inspired by other creatives.
I love that. And I love your story and your journey, and particularly that you've come on the podcast now, because you're almost at the beginning of hopefully quite an exciting career and life. So thank you for coming on and being so honest and sharing your stories. Lydia, where can people connect with you and find out what you do next and any concerts and gigs you've got coming up?
Oh, yes. So I have this Instagram called Lydia Walquist Flute. And then I also have a website called lydiawalquist.com. And then, oh gosh, I have so many Instagrams. I also have Temporal Harmonies Inc., which is my chamber group. And then we also have a website called temporalharmoniesinc.com. So that is where you can find me.
And we will tag you in all of those in the description so people can find you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, why not hit that 5-star wherever you get your podcasts and hit the subscribe button so you're the first to know when the brand new episodes are released. We've also got more content over on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram at chatter.beans. Until next time, keep chatting, keep sipping, and I'll see you soon.